This comment right here on one of my recent videos got me thinking, maybe I should create kind of a series about photography for dummies from an actual dummy that picked up a camera a bunch of years ago and decided he wanted to do photography. The second point of that triangle, or the second pillar, is what we call shutter speed. So we can flip that from AV, TV. What that is doing is I get to choose the shutter speed. The camera chooses pretty much everything else. Not the best example to kind of showcase, again, the extremes from 0 to 100. So we can start anywhere from as low as, say, 1 of 100. It's going to choose for me, again, just a number, f7.1. So what does that do? That is allowing the appropriate amount of light into the actual image. You take a picture. It's appropriately lighted. What happens when we go to 1 over 2500 or 2500? Well, now we can see image is still pretty clear, but you can notice that it's a lot darker than the last one. This is more of an extremist view of what the actual shutter is doing. There's a lot more use cases. But if you're doing something where you're taking a photo of just the actual landscape itself, I'm not going to need 1 over 2500. Maybe I just need 1 over 400. When I take that picture, it's perfectly lighted. Everything's in focus. It chose the aperture for me. I got to choose the shutter. Now, for example, when I have this car coming by, how would I use this in a use case? Well, I still want to properly adjust for lighting. What if I have movement going on and I wait for this car? Now you can see that the car is fully in focus. So again, what's just a number? 1 over 800. What does that tell me? Exposed properly, one was dark, one was light. When would you use that in a case scenario? Well, I took a picture of the landscape. Didn't really matter as much. I just had to adjust to a lower shutter speed. It wasn't as important. When a car happened to come by that was a paid actor, well, I needed a faster shutter speed. Well, you'd say it's darker. Well, that's when you start to mix in the other number, which is the F and whatever that number is. So that's when you can start to play with these different things. But these modes like shutter priority, you can really just play with the numbers. What is 1 over a low number versus 1 over a high number? Well, it's lighting, but it's also the subject moving faster. I want it to be in focus. I want it to be crisp. I want it to not be blurred. And that's kind of where you start to play more with that number and what it actually means.